If you hear one of your employees is out looking for a job, let them go.
Don't sacrifice the business for a personal relationship.
Have to be one, but you can't be both. Stupid or a hard worker.
Old mentor of mine said sales is either skill or will.
85% of roofing salespeople quit at the exact moment it's about to start working.
I wouldn't disagree. Just for the fact we have very, very little turnover, and the turnover we do have is not them quitting.
Hmm.
The turnover we have is us letting them go because they're not up to the task, I guess. So for us, we don't see it. I know there's a lot of turnover in sales, especially in the storm stuff, just because it's such a cutthroat industry. But being retail like we are, we just don't see the turnover for that statement to make any sense for us.
Totally fair. What about you guys?
Unfortunately, I mean, I can see that going both ways. And I think that the age of the person plays a bit of a role in, whether or not that's true. Like, we've all been kicked in the teeth. I could guarantee every single person that's on this has been kicked in the teeth a time or two in this whole thing. And either we're like too dumb to quit, or we're like in that generation where, we just know that we need to keep going. Unfortunately, some of the people that I found that have been younger than me just don't really carry some of that.
Are you noticing that more with like millennial age group or even lower down at like Gen Z?
I mean, technically, I am a millennial, I think.
Okay, I'm like the cusp as well. I'm on the final year.
Okay.
Well, so what are you seeing more? Is it so I guess you're saying that it's the Gen Z
So
thing.
there's outliers to every role. But I'm just saying that, like, I found that, like, the younger they are, the less work ethic they seem to have.
Can I pivot off this question
Yeah. Have at it, Robert.
to
Depends on how, Robert.
the fellow gentleman on the panel here? Uh, what's your if you do have somebody who's not going to make it? How many weeks in, even if they interviewed well, they checked all the boxes, they got through your gauntlet of qualification. You're not just a warm body, hire them just because they want to sell roofs kind of company. Like you actually vet the candidate and you go through all that. How many weeks in how many weeks in do you know, yeah, they're not going to make it? What's the typical when you just like, do you know pretty early on and you still give them a little bit of leeway? Or is it like a month, 6 weeks? And you're like, nah, this isn't working.
I feel like it's pretty quick because the thing is, when you hire a salesperson, they are just full of piss and vinegar, ready to rock, ready to conquer the world, right? Because it's commission. They're hungry. They're just going to go crush. Like, that's their initial mentality. It's really, really easy to see the ones that aren't up to the task, how quickly that attitude diminishes. It's very quick, because it's not that easy. Everybody thinks like, oh, I can go sell $2 million worth of roofs. You're selling $20,000 a piece, blah, blah, blah. It's a little harder than you think, and it does take real effort, right? So, like, I think you see very quickly what David Goggins says, I like seeing the souls leave their body, about taking their souls. I don't know if you guys have read his book or watched his stuff, but I'm obsessed. But you literally see these sales guys, the souls leave their body after a few weeks, because it's like, oh my God, I've been out here grinding, I feel like, which they're not, but they think they're grinding and they're not having success. What they don't really understand, they're not really grinding that hard. It is real work. Like, you have to be out there hustling. And where the big one is, they just don't understand. It's not a typical 9 to 5. The big part of our business is after 5. It's on Saturdays. It's on Sundays. It's a grind. So, yeah, you see their souls leave pretty quickly. And I would say within the first month, is this guy going to crush, or is he not just up to the task?
Okay, so a month. That's kind of our timeline there. That makes sense.
Yeah, I'll hit it right.
Retco popped in. Oh, go ahead.
I think it's a lot of a mental game too. They're going to advertise themselves as they should be the candidate that you hire for your company. They get started and then they're like, when do I get paid? It's like, okay, we're already there. But it's a generational thing too. I think, like Jon was saying, this is definitely a pipeline type of job where you don't just go work today, get paid today, or work this week, get paid this week. it's a longer term development of all of that. And as long as your company is transparent about your time from contract to paid in full to commission delivered, all that stuff, there should be no confusion about it from the sales reps position, because they know this is what it takes to get the contract signed and then all the way through to build it and then get paid. That should all be pretty laid out up front before they even sign your employee agreement. And then after that, if it's who knows what, it could be a ton of different things, but I think it's mostly a mental thing too, because this is definitely not for everybody. You can't go from like an hourly job at, the supermarket or a Home Depot and then work for a roofing company and expect the same type of thing. So it's different.
No, it makes sense. I think we see that even on our end, where it's easy to get caught up in like the rah-rah, the getting attached to the momentum of it all, but it's a lot harder to actually sit in the boring process and sit in the part that maybe you really don't enjoy that much. So I think that makes sense and seems to be pretty universal. But Remco did pop over something into our Q&A here. He said, you can teach sales, you cannot teach drive. Sometimes drive is showing up first, but when they get told no, they give up really easily. So is that kind of something along the lines of what you guys are seeing?
Like, so a rock star has high skill and great attitude. Low skill and great attitude, they're trainable and coachable. If they have low skill and a bad attitude, you need to fire them.
Yeah.
I've listened. That's hilarious because I've always said, I swear to you, this was like a saying I've always had. You have to be one, but you can't be both. Stupid or a hard worker, right? You can't be dumb and lazy, but you can be dumb if you're willing to work really hard. Or you can be a little lazy if you're super smart. You just can't be both. Like if you're both, it's really hard to find a place for you, especially in this industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, old mentor of mine said sales is either skill or will. You know,
I like
you
that.
can be highly skilled and have to do less to get just as much, or you can really have to bust your butt and be just as successful.
It's not for the weak, y'all. I like it. All right. Next question here. Don't put your future in the hands of a third party, not an insurance company, not a builder, not the government. Hot take you agree with or disagree with, and why? And I think a lot of this too, if you think about kind of what it would look like to step away from your business for a long time and kind of what the ripple effects of that could be.
Yeah, I don't really understand the hot take.
Can
Okay.
you repeat that?
Yeah, absolutely. Don't put your future in the hands of a third party, not an insurance company, not a builder, not the government. So I think they're essentially saying, like, let me read the notes on this one. That if someone else controls whether or not you eat, you have a dependency, not a business.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I always you invest in yourself, but you also have to delegate, right? Like if you're going to build a real company, you have to delegate. I mean, the three entities that you rattled off, I would never put my delegation in. I would probably
Even the government?
I probably wouldn't choose those three: insurance, government, or a builder. Like I would probably look at some other options.
God, yeah.
Right. Like, but anyway, it's yeah. I don't know. That's a weird hot take. I don't know that I agree with it. Great.
I think it's talking about where they get their revenue from, like insurance proceeds, government contracts, and I think that's my interpretation of it.
Yeah,
Like subcontracting to builders,
Yeah, that makes sense.
always
Okay.
waiting to get fed. Like create your own path, your own destiny. I think that's what I'm getting out of it.
My take on that whole thing, like I've had several building contractors try working with us, and they'll pull everything like, oh, you don't need to worry about pulling a permit. We're gonna and like I really don't want to bend my processes or anything that we do for anybody. So
Yep.
I absolutely agree with that. Like I'm not gonna let an outside organization or an outside individual control the way that we do things. So next question.
Yeah, we're done with that hot take, are we? We're sick of that.
This is about to get political. I'm out of here.
Yeah, for real.
Hands call looking at the hot
Immediately.
You're smiling.
All right. Manufacturer certifications are meaningless. They've never given you any training. They just want you to buy their shingles.
Oh boy, that is a hot take.
That's why we're here, Robert.
I disagree 100%. If nobody else can answer, I completely disagree. I don't disagree that that's the incentive, but I do completely disagree that with the right manufacturer, that there's not some extreme upside for the business and the homeowner that the business is selling to. And so we're certified with GAF for Master Elite. We also are certified with Owens Corning. We've done both of their programs. We just liked GAF better for what we were looking for. Yes, they do expect certain numbers. Like you can't sell 5 roofs a year and expect to get in one of their programs. It's not going to happen. Like that is part of it. There is quotas that you have to meet for certain things. But with that said, this year already we've done like 5 warranty projects for GAF that were the roof install was performed by another contractor that went out of business years ago, but they had a gold pledge warranty, which is a 25-year workmanship warranty. We go out, GAF, we send a quote to them, they pay us directly. The homeowner doesn't pay 1 penny for that warranty claim. So like, it's real. I mean, it's you do have a legitimate warranty, and I can't speak for all of them. I can just speak for the one that I deal with on a regular basis. But it's real. There's value in that. They also have an education center. I make all of my team, from the receptionist to the office manager to everybody has to go through their sales training or their product training. Is there other things to know? Sure. But like, it gives you a really, really great outline and an understanding of what the product is, what the installation methods are, all those things. Are you required to do it? Kinda. There's ways around it, but at the same time, somebody has to do some of it, right? So like, because you have there's certain phases you have to hit, so many tests you have to pass to maintain your level of accreditation. But yeah, it'd be crazy. Like, all the guys that say that it's BS, it's because they're not in the program yet. That's my take on it. That's the hot take. Like, it's just because you're not in yet. As soon as you get in, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, this is actually pretty nice. Like, there's some real upside.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
We're
I
always
am
corner.
curious though, do you find that typically these warranty issues come from a lack of education and a lack of knowledge of how to actually use these products from manufacturing companies? Or is it usually a freak of nature, an accident? Like, what is the real reason that these warranties are such a pain point?
Okay, here's the thing. Installing a shingle roof is one of the easiest trades in building, in my opinion. A built house is it is a very, very straightforward installation. Like, there's not a lot of difficulty. The problem is, you can teach all you want, but every half-ass contractor knows things that they can do to try to do a half-ass project, right? So like, for instance, one of them they just installed over the old roof and didn't do certain steps. Well, part of doing a gold pledge system has to be a clean deck. So like, that's just not following the rules. Like, so it's not because they don't offer proper education, because they do. It's just, you don't have to follow it once you get out in the field until you get caught.
Yeah, they do. We just had 5 random. I mean, they don't like, surprise you. They warn you a little bit, but they give you a little notice. But Owens Corning did like 5 random inspections on, I think it's for every 100 roofs you do.
Yep.
They do 1 random inspection to make sure you're installing it properly.
And if you're not, you get it yanked.
Yeah, you'll get pulled off the program. And our local rep told us quite a few companies got pulled this last
Dang.
last few months. So they are trying to stay on top of their own quality control and not just, letting everybody into their programs.
I could understand how a top tier manufacturer like Owens Corning would do that. I bet you a lot of the other ones don't do that.
I don't know. We're getting some pretty positive feedback
They
from
don't.
GAF
I mean,
here.
this is just a trash talking set.
All your bills are going up. Yeah. Oh, just had some feedback here from Andy. We're fortunate enough to have just been awarded Master Elite over the winter, and GAF has already sent us 3 Golden Pledge warranty claims, also from companies that have gone out of business. It's a blessing. So I can say, out of all the certifications and whatnot, with GAF has most definitely been worth it.
Yeah, I would definitely just chime in that, some of the best trainings that I've ever had were on the manufacturer's dime,
Absolutely.
And to Scott's point, absolutely. I mean, the reason why they do that and invest in us is to keep us like installing their product. So
Yeah, and you get to go to Rodney Webb
Not
seminars.
back scratched like that, you know?
It's a good trust factor too, with a customer when you educate your customer on why this warranty is important, why we're backed by GAF, because of the education they provide us, the training they provide us to put your roof on. It gives them a little bit more peace of mind too. So in addition to all that, it helps your customer too. It's a good selling point, trust factor.
Do y'all include any manufacturer information in your proposals that you present to homeowner?
Yeah, we do. It's part of our proposals and it's all part of the education to the homeowner.
What is the most important piece of information you shared to homeowner from the manufacturer?
The transferable workmanship
Oh, okay, like the
warranty.
okay, got it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like teaching them about the warranties. I mean, the roofing system too, but it's all kind of tied together.
Can I be a butthead here?
No.
Well, I'm gonna anyway.
know.
Never asked before.
Yes, that's how this goes, basically.
The shingle colors, that's pretty much what we cover.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's all they're gonna see from the manufacturer. Because end of the day, like they're not buying the manufacturer, in my opinion. They're buying who's installing it. And
Nobody ever remembers the
first
brand of the
in front of them.
shingle 7 months, 8 months later. They just remember the company that did it.
I guess I wasn't really that big of a butthead.
John, what were you thinking?
Just to play off that, we actually white labeled everything. So everything that we sell in the actual text, it explains that it's a GAF, golden plate, whatever, but it's unless you read the fine print, it's rain stoppers warranty.
Yeah, we do the
We
same.
merely do all that. We white labeled everything.
Yeah.
Our color chart's white labeled. Like we don't even use GAF's stuff, just their colors with our white label all.
Yeah. I think the person who ever said that, either they don't like offering any sort of, they just don't care about warranties, or there has been a big, there's even been some pretty big podcast about in taking your warranties in-house and like white labeling so that you can mix and match shingles and all that. And I've looked into that, just exploring it, but it's kind of scary. I'd rather have a company that invented fiberglass and has been around 100 years. I'd rather just kind of partner with them and let them.
Put the liability on them. You don't want to assume anything. You didn't make the shingles. They did.
Who's the smart shopper? No, it makes sense. Makes sense. All right, we had somebody else pop in here. Evaluating ProLine here. Are you using ProLine for insurance work in place of Xactimate? If so, how many custom items can be input into ProLine for the non-roof items, from screens to gutters to siding and windows? In Minnesota, we have to provide this estimate at the time of contract signing per the law. Have you been able to estimate multi-trade using ProLine with enough custom items? I think 70 is the max.
You could, but I still use Xactimate for insurance jobs. So, and just embed it into the ProLine template.
Anybody else doing anything different insurance-wise?
I haven't used Xactimate in 6 years. I just take the actual cost of everything to do business and put it in there. And that's it. I mean, we do roofing, gutters, paint, gutter guards, like everything. I mean, we don't do siding, but you can put a lot into these quotes, and they're getting better by the minute, really. So you could definitely do all that stuff. And we don't use Xactimate because of the fact that it's just such every single line item we were getting kickback on, because I would actually build our Xactimates with roofer labor hours instead of demo doing the tear off. I would do roofing hours doing the tear off, and I would get kickback for that. They would say, "How are you getting these prices? This is too much." And I'm just like, "They're your price lists. I'm just doing it because that's exactly what we're doing. It's not your template. It's how we actually are going to do the work." So that's pretty much why I stopped using Xactimate. And yeah, you can do everything you want in ProLine, and it's actually a lot better.
We don't use it as often as we used to. I mean, 20% of our revenue was claims last year. So we're not using Xactimate that often anymore.
Darren said, I like that answer. I'd like to ditch Exact and go from markup on my costs. Any tips on how to convert an insurance job to a retail job with financing and let the client keep escrow checks?
Whoa, there's a lot in there. This
is
Xactimate.
Brian.
Okay.
Take it
Take it
away,
back to me. Yeah, I would definitely. I mean, I try not to spend too much time, but I see a lot of people asking questions on groups about how do I get OMP approved? Don't make it a line item in your estimate, Xactimate. Don't put on the very bottom OMP for contractor 10 and 10 or whatever it is. build it into the price of the actual line item. And that way you're going to achieve your OMP. And you can do that in ProLine. Any tips on how to convert an insurance job to a retail job with financing? Yeah. Here's your monthly payment. Take the $19,000 in cash that your adjuster is going to hand you and go on vacation or pay off your credit cards or pay off the next 6 months of your mortgage payment with that. And then you have $250 a month. I mean, we live in a subscription-based society now. Everything's pretty much a monthly payment. So just think of it that way. Psychologically push it into, now, is this what you were thinking you were going to be paying a month for this? Instead of saying it's a $25,000 roof, say this is a $198 a month roof, or you can go up to the next package or the lower whatever that is. So turn them into packages rather than total cost, just like the trucks at the dealership. You don't see the total cost of the truck. You just see the monthly payment on the sticker.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you on that thinking. I'm still sort of hanging on with the old school ACV, RCV supplement. We still do some of that, but my heart, I want to go full on that model. I really do.
That was great. Thank you, Darren, for popping some questions in there. Anything else that you have as you're evaluating ProLine? All of these guys have kind of gone through that same decision-making process that you're going through right now. So if you have any other questions as you're kind of going through it, we're going to be here for another 15 minutes or so. So feel free to rip those as they come to you. All right. Did I get another one in here? Am I tripping? All right. Ian, any insight when firing someone who has been with you for a substantial amount of time due to culture? I usually don't give any reasoning as to why I'm letting somebody go, since in Minnesota I can fire without cause. This one's just hitting a little closer to home. Sorry, Ian.
Man, I would say don't sacrifice the business for a personal relationship or because it's your friend or whatever. The business has to keep going every day, no matter what. And if you don't fit on the train that we're sending down the tracks, then best of luck to you. Don't take it personally. I don't know. I mean, that should be kind of integrated into your employee agreement too. But it's hard to say no, dude, you're a butt munch. You can't work for us. It's hard to do.
Did you just say butt munch?
Yeah.
On a recorded line, yeah.
I haven't heard that since 1996.
Maybe watches Beavis and Butthead anymore. Come on.
Ready to start peppering that one in again.
Brian, I just realized, man, you got that haircut too, man.
Yeah.
What does
I'm just
that
kidding.
even mean? What's that even mean? Sorry.
No.
Brian has the best hair in roofing, man, for sure.
You.
The hair is sweet. Okay, yeah, you're getting a lot of feedback on this, Brian. I don't know what you're doing, but it's working.
Good. Bring it on.
Yeah, right. More compliments, people.
Fishing for compliments.
Unbelievable.
You had me at butt munch.
Sold to the highest bidder, me. Oh, that is hilarious. All right, let's see. If you guys have other questions, feel free to pop them in there. We like it a lot more when you guys are in the Q&A. So
I heard somebody say that if you're going to fire somebody, you should, traditionally they would say you would do it on a Friday. They say do it on a Monday so that they can take the week instead of them getting fired on a Friday and then they got to stew about it all weekend. Do it on a Monday so they have the week to just figure out. That was something I heard. I don't. What do you guys think of that?
ooh, Friday versus Monday.
I mean, my most recent firing was on a Tuesday. So,
Yeah.
I mean, any day of the week that ends in Y is going to be.
You can get
Yeah,
fired.
Yeah, I wouldn't wait all week to fire someone. That's a painful week as an owner. I would just, if the time's out, it's Tuesday morning or Wednesday night, then that's kind of what happens.
Yeah. Sure.
Nip that thing in the bud as soon as you. have
Well, I
the-
guess it depends on the circumstance. It's really
This is a friend, guys. This is somebody really close to home. Somebody he's known for a long time.
So I'll just say this, Ian. I have fired my wife several times, and just because they're friends or family, I'm gonna get serious for a second, but you need to really be able to draw the line between friendship and employment, and you can still have the friendship part, but if things aren't working out on the employment front, you can't let that fester, man.
Mm-mm.
And so if he was going to make a move today, what would step 1 be?
Change his logins on his email, as ProLine says.
Yeah, do what everybody does.
So you call person into the office, you call him on the phone. What's step 1? serious action plan here.
If
Jon.
it's a friend, I would meet in person.
Okay.
Fact gathering, though. I mean, you need to be able to sit down and actually go through what it is that's going on. And, you have that in front of you. The rest of it just kind of plays out super easy. Like everybody should have an idea of what the expectations are. I think-
Ian, do you care to give any more context on that? If maybe that would help them tailor their advice. If so, feel free to pop it over. If you don't, no worries.
I think if you're doing it right, they should know they're about to get fired based on their expectations as an employee and the amount of time that you've given to them to show them, look, you're not meeting these goals, these KPIs are missing or whatever that is. And if it turns into like, but, then, oh yeah, you're out. But if it's a substantial, conversation where you get into some things that are, beyond everyone's control, then maybe it's just like, this isn't the right time or whatever it is. But they should know that they're about to get fired based on how you are as a roofing company owner and how you run the company and the time you give to them one-on-ones and company meetings or whatever that is. They should know they're not meeting it if they're, paying attention.
Willful disobedience. That's a term
right.
of yours that I've been using a pretty good bit. So thank you.
Yep.
Ian did say, why would you recommend giving someone a reason versus saying we just had to go in a different direction?
I don't think you have to. I think if it's time, it's time, and just get it done. Because if the problem is the owner, and I can tell you from experience, you'll let this guy hang on and stay a part of the equation because you don't have the perfect reason to let him go, and it's going to bother you, and you're going to continuously question his ability, her ability, whatever it is. You're never going to be satisfied with the company that you're building if you have someone on the team that in your heart you feel you need to let go. So, not that it's easy. I say that like it's an easy thing to do. I think it's the hardest thing to do. I had to fire someone 2 weeks ago and I hated it. And it was not a good situation. Like he deserved every bit of it and then some. And I still hated it. So like, just to be clear, I'm not saying it's easy, but you don't have to have a scripted reason. Like if you in your heart as the owner know this is not the direction I want to go. This is not the guy I want to take along for the ride from here on out. You got to cut ties. I mean, that's that. If not, you're just going to be upset with yourself going forward. Not only that, here, I mean, everybody here's heard this too. The quicker you part ways, the quicker that person has an opportunity to go find a place where they are the right fit, where they do have the best ability to, be part of that company's culture to grow themselves. Like the longer
their
you let
own.
them, right, the longer you let them kind of drag on, you're not doing them any favors either because they're not ever going to advance because you've got it in your head already. Employees are the same way, by the way. If you hear one of your employees is out looking for a job, let them go. I heard that from an old guy because he said, I was trying to hire some guys and this guy's employees contacted me wanting to come to work for me. And he said, I called him because I knew him. I said, hey, 3 of your guys just put in applications with me. What do you want me to do? He said, hire every one of them. He said, they already got 1 foot out the door if they're contacting you. There ain't no sense in me trying to keep them. And he's right. Like, they're already going to leave.
Have you guys ever dealt with somebody that maybe they're not doing anything like outwardly wrong, like they're not misbehaving or doing something that's like incredibly damaging per se, but perhaps they're just like complaining a lot and saying that they deserve more or like that they should be getting more out of it when frankly you're kind of doing everything that you should be doing as an owner or as a leader? What about in those situations where there's nothing to really pin it on per se?
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
That's
Same thing.
If you're not happy with the relationship, in the relationship.
Immediately.
Yeah. It's just a waste of time if not.
Andy had some feedback here. Ian, not sure if this is helpful, but if it's a bad culture fit, think of your team as part of your body and soul. Think of them as a cancer. What does cancer do? If it spreads. So rather than let your team body die, cut the cancer. And it sounds like Andy from Teflon has had to do the same here. So he had somebody that was with him for about 6 years, and sounds like they kind of knew it was coming. So it's interesting to hear that all of you guys in different parts of the country, at different phases in your business, at some point have all dealt with this. So at a minimum, Ian, you're not alone. And if you have any more questions about that, pop them over. All right, James, anyone selling other products with ProLine, not just roofing?
You can sell all
yeah.
kinds of stuff with ProLine.
Yeah.
Did you have a follow-up question on that?
Yeah.
Well, let's see, who was that?
So roofing, siding, gutters, windows. The thing with ProLine, where everybody gets mixed up, and I've helped other companies build, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was an insulation company, a fencing company, and maybe a painting company build ProLine accounts. Where everybody gets lost in this is it's a CRM. The only reason it's directed towards roofers primarily is because the library, the stock library that you can like pull workflows or pull quote templates from is just built for roofing. But to be honest with you, you should build your own anyway. Like you should take the time to customize those yourself anyway. So the only other thing that kind of gears it towards roofing is the measurement fields that create quotes based off of an integration with GAF Quick Measure or Eagle View or whatever. They cater towards roofing, but you build quotes for kitchen cabinets out of ProLine. Like you just gotta take a minute to set it up. Like it's absolutely possible to do any trade.
So he
Yeah.
mentioned about starting with porting in Provia, which they do like doors and windows and stuff like that. Like to answer your question, 100%, yeah, you can do that. I don't do that, but I mean, I think Brian, you do multiple trades and stuff, right?
Yeah, we do roofing, gutters, exterior paint, roof coatings. Um, man, if we can do it, I'll build it out. I'll just, even if we've never done it before, I will build out like we just did a roof coating template and a Geico for a commercial building. So I got with the rep and said, what are all the line items and all the things we need to make this a Geico warranted, template? And they sent me everything. Here's all the literature. I just kind of scratched it all out. You can use linear footage, square footage. You can use quantities each per box, coil, whatever amount quantity you want to put in there, you can do that. So you can do fencing. You can do every 8 feet is this cost, or every per foot, or every gate, one each. Every gate is $350 or whatever that is. So you can build it all out that way. Same thing with windows. You can do, whatever your cost is per united inch, and say all the windows on the front of the house, this window 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then just put them to that if you want to. Like take your hover report and input it in there. Just put your united inches per whatever, if it's a slider or a single, double hung, whatever, and you can build it out that way.
Yeah, no, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
you can do a lot.
And I can kind of touch on that a little bit too. So we say we're roofing and exteriors because that is what our success team is trained to do. So you can come to us with very, little concept of a process in place, and we could build that out for you inside of the CRM. They're experts at ProLine, they're experts at roofing and exteriors. But if you're coming to us with something outside of those two things, you just need to come to us with the process, and then your account manager can help you figure out how to set it up. So my recommendation would be to dial in your process and figure out exactly how you want it to operate inside of ProLine. And then if you can communicate that to your account manager, they're a ProLine expert. They'll be able to figure that out for you, if that makes sense.
All right, everybody, I got to go. See ya. Thanks.
Bye. Thank you so much, Brian. Have a great day.
You too.
You're welcome, James. Absolutely. Any other questions, feel free to prop them over. Okay, Darren, are any of you using both the integrated phone and SMS in ProLine? Is the voice working well via the app in the field? Are you satisfied with the voice compared to Dialpad, Nextivia, or other robust business class VoIP?
Yes. I just got off a phone call right before this, which I personally don't utilize ProLine's phone system often because I don't sell jobs really, but I had a call that was through ProLine. You wouldn't know the difference. I mean, in my opinion, I've used, which one was it? A sales message or I don't know, one of those. And it was weird. There was a delay in like the conversation. It was kind of weird there for a while. I wouldn't know the difference. I mean, it's just like your phone app on an iPhone. It's pretty much exactly the same calling features.
The only real difference is you can't send a video directly in there, right? But I mean, I would actually ask why you're not using it. I mean, you're really giving up a lot of visibility by not utilizing that feature. I mean, you're giving up the ability to kind of see when one of your estimators or sales reps makes an outbound call to a potential client, you're missing the opportunity to kind of see like our text messages getting responded to and like how those conversations are going and whatnot, right? Um, don't and if they don't have a number tied to them that you're utilizing, like you're really giving up one of the most powerful features of ProLine altogether, and that's the automations that you can build out to every step of your project stages.
That makes sense. All right, y'all. Well, I'm not seeing anything else pop into the Q&A here. So with that in mind, I'm down to give you guys a whole 5 minutes back. Thanks for popping on. For those of us, or those of you in our attendee pool, thanks for joining. We'll be right back at it again next Monday to do it all again at 4:30.